I think hearts are perfect any time of year in any style of decor, but it is Valentine's Day, so I thought we'd make a couple of projects. And I started with a hanging Dollar Tree heart and a smaller one that's where it comes several in a pack. And I knew I was going to glue that on solid, so I filled that hole on the smaller one with wood filler. Now, this particular heart had wood grain and grooves on one side, and I didn't want that, so I flipped it over to the smooth side. And I chose a folk art chalk paint in the color Glacier, and I chose it because I had a pack of transfers that are from Stamperia, and it matched the blue in that transfer really well. And I think I showed you the transfer pack that I used. Yes, there it is. It's a beautiful little set. And so I painted the smooth side of that heart with my chalk paint, and it did take 2 coats. This stencil is from Walmart, and I wanted to use it around the outside edge. So I lined up my heart kind of centered and made sure the points matched and just drew that out with a pencil. And then I took my modeling paste. I get that from Hobby Lobby. And then I just picked out pieces of that stencil that I liked. And then I would clean it off, let it dry in places, and reposition my stencil. And I just kept doing that all around the blue outside parts. And, you know, when you get something messed up, you just fix it. The outside had to be wiped. Then I took this smaller heart, and I used a makeup brush and a little fine line brush, and did that with some gold, feathered some gold around the edges. I did seal my large heart with the modeling paste on it with a good clear coat. Then I decided I needed to get some more white on that heart. So I took that same makeup brush and I added white in the middle and just feathered the gold and the white together. I did feather some gold around my pencil line where the heart was going. And here I am just adding those little pieces of transfer, and I had a booger of a time with one of them getting the top off, but I finally got it, and I love the way that heart turned out. And I did seal that as well. Then I took some B7000 and some hot glue and attached that to my blue heart. And then I just added some ribbon and got it kind of the length I wanted. And then I hung this in my foyer. I'm not through with my foyer vignette, but you can see how pretty it looks hanging on the wall. I think it would be beautiful with most any kind of decor. And then for my second heart project, I made this stand, and it's in my bathroom. But I started with that little filigree frame from Dollar Tree, and I think that little heart came from Hobby Lobby. And I also started with a candlestick from Dollar Tree, but I turned around and I had a prettier brass candlestick in my stash. I'd originally planned on doing this on the diagonal, but as you can see, I changed my mind in the end. So I used that same Glacier paint on this, and I knew it was possible it would be seen from both sides. So I did the front and the back, and Lord, it was a booger getting in between all that little filigree stuff. I used a little pie shape of sponge that I just cut out. I buy those sponges at the Dollar Tree or Dollar General, anywhere. You can usually find those little sponges. And I sponged on some white paint on this one, and because I knew I was going to decoupage on it, and you need a nice white background, especially with the particular napkin I was using. And I sponged that heart with the little hearts in it. I did the same thing on it, and then I decided I wanted to use gold on it. So I did gold, and I had my napkin, and I was placing that and thinking how I was going to do it. In the beginning, I thought I was going to do one heart on the front and one heart on the back with just napkin and some cardstock in the middle. But I changed my mind, and I didn't do that. I cut that string off of another heart that I had, just like the one I used before, and I lined the holes up because I knew I was going to run ribbon through it, and made sure my point was matching with the point on the back heart. And then again, I just drew a pencil line around it, and started working on that part. I painted the inside of the pencil line in white because I knew that was where my napkin was going to be. And I just put a couple of coats of white on there to make sure it was covered good. And then I went around the outside edges with gold. And it did take 2 coats of gold. You know, that gold is so sheer. And I didn't have to be super careful. I tried to stay in my lines, but I knew the outside edge of that smaller heart was going to cover up any mistakes I had. And then I just went around the outside edges of that. And on the big heart, I had to do 2 sides because it was going to be double-sided. Then I placed my little heart on the napkin and cut it out in the general shape. It was kind of hard to see my pencil lines on that, and I just kept trimming it up, and it didn't have to be perfect because I knew the outside rim was going to cover it up. And then just cleaning up my cutting there, and then I just decoupaged that on with decoupage medium. I did wax that chalk paint on that blue part. Then I decided the heart needed a little something something, so I just feathered some red around on that. Now here's where I decide that I'm going to do straight across instead of on the diamond. So I put some hot glue and foam down in my candlestick, and then I just kept stacking it. I cut a U-pen short, and then as I had to keep stacking it, I took the points of what I cut off and stuck that in the styrofoam with glue. Then I just added some mouse and gave it a little haircut. Now what I didn't film was me putting a little rubbing buff on that blue part. Just thought it needed a little something something. And then I just ran my ribbon through and tied it through one of the slits. And this way I can use it for more than one season. I can just change out whatever I want to hang in the middle. Then I glued a couple of paper flowers on, and I just think it turned out really pretty. Here it is in my bathroom, and I knew that mirror was going to show, so I wanted to get it on both sides. I thank y'all so much for watching, and I hope you'll keep watching with me. Thank you so much.